Hi, y'all. It's Rick here with Uncommon Communion, giving you a special update edition of, well, what I think we can call the Great American Pushback, which is pretty awesome. So let us remember we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of God and each other. And today, just a little while ago, it's almost 4 o'clock Eastern as I record this. About 4 hours ago, at the Ohio State House, which is in the capital of Ohio, Columbus, where I live, there were many people gathered in the rain, no less, to speak out, speak up, speak loudly. It was amazing, y'all. I cannot tell you how excited I am to see, because this was my, I believe, fourth rally in this particular cycle in Trump 2.0, the lame duck. And there were so many more people here, like by a factor of 10, or maybe even a factor of 20. Now, I'm going to illustrate this a little bit later today. When I have a moment, I will put my pictures up into my Substack. I'll probably do a special post and put those up. And I will show you side by side how the numbers have grown. We are talking today, probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6,000 people. It was a lot of people, y'all. And what was amazing about this was we got to march also. And I love when we march and we take this, when we are peacefully marching, of course, the police were escorting us, and we were marching, being able to say, whose streets? Our streets. It was truly, truly amazing. So, like I said, I will share some photos with you later on. What I am seeing about other versions of this elsewhere in the country, I heard something like 1,300 of these around the country. I only glanced at my Substack to see some reports elsewhere. Something like 100,000 in DC. Someone said half a million, half a million, 500,000 in New York. So that makes sense. That makes sense because, y'all, people are fed up. We are tired, we are sick, and we are done with this insanity. Y'all, this is the beginning of the end. This week we will look back on, today we will look back on, and we will see that this regime is crumbling and will crumble. And it's because of the people taking to the streets in the rain. So I learned a few things today. I'll show you something important. Fortunately, the other times when I've done these rallies, one day it was cold, one day it was drizzly. Today, though, it was coming down, and you got to be careful. Here's a little sign making 101. You got to be careful to make sure your markers are waterproof, meaning they're not water soluble, because what happens is if the water runs, you can see right there which part of the poster. These lasted actually in quite a bit of rain, and then this one, of course, did not. And this is the Great American Pushback, is what that said. Thank you very much to Jim Acosta. I believe it was he who came up with that phrasing. It is, again, important. This was good. This sign lasted. It's still a little bit soggy. This side did not. Of course, you can see due process, but I think what I said was due process is a right for all on U.S. soil, and this is really about the absolute insane deportations that are beginning, and folks like the Mr. Garcia, I believe his last name is, who was sent to El Salvador, and this is really significant, y'all. So I'll take just a moment to share this. The judge, I believe it was on Thursday, day before yesterday, the judge who is seeing this case said he must be returned. This is the one who the government admitted he was sent in error. The judge said he must be returned by, I believe it was Monday at 11:59, I think, p.m., the end of Monday. And I need to read more about this, but I believe that the press secretary in the White House said that that is not going to happen, that they can't do that, which is absolute ludicrous, right? To say that they can't do that is insane. We are paying the government of El Salvador for them to imprison these people, including this gentleman. And to be able to just say to them, here's, take him out. And here's the other crazy thing about this Trump. He's the deal maker, right? He prides himself on cutting a good deal, making a good deal. So apparently in this case, he's powerless to be able to make a deal to get this person back to follow a court order. And remember, y'all, we've talked about this here before. It is about whether or not he follows court orders. Because at this point, checks and balances have completely fallen away, except for the judicial system. And as we saw today, the people are watching, the people are active. And that was what was so amazing today. It was people of all kinds. There were kids there, there were adults, there were people who were using wheelchairs, there were all kinds of colors of the rainbow and all kinds of everything. All of those colors were there, and that was wonderful and so encouraging. And this is just the beginning, y'all. I mean, to just see what has happened in just 3 weeks. I need to check the date of the last rally. Probably maybe a month at most, but so much has happened, and I feel so much more encouraged. And here we go. Next thing, though, is we got to see if they bring Mr. Garcia home. If they do not, if they refuse, that's where action has to take place. Because yes, it's about this man's life and his family. This is the gentleman who has a 5-year-old severely autistic son whose wife has been abandoned by the government, snatching their husband, disappearing her husband. And there's due process. If the government really thinks, as they're saying, that this is a person who has broken the law, who has done terrible things, then they need to show the evidence to a judge. They need to let someone adjudicate that. And the fact that they're not showing, the fact that they're just saying, oh, yeah, trust us, we have evidence. Well, you know what? That means they don't have it. And there is nothing about this regime that should lead us to trust them, because we know that they lie. They lie. Period. Full stop. Well, y'all, it is a good day. It is one that is having me feel better and feel good. And I want to close with this prayer. And it's from a little bit of a bigger book of prayers. It's a great one, Life Prayers, 365 Prayers. And I don't know this person. The name is Arthur Wasco. I'm going to look him up and find more about him. And if I find something interesting, I will come back and share. But here is what he writes. And I am inspired by what I saw today. Maybe some of you all were out in the streets. Hopefully the next time, I think May 1st, there's another one of these coming up. Hopefully you will join us out there. Here's what this prayer says. We are the generation that stands between the fires. Behind us, the flame and smoke that rose from Auschwitz and from Hiroshima. Before us, the nightmare of a flood of fire, the flame and smoke that consume all earth. It is our task to make fire not from an all-consuming blaze, but the light in which we see each other fully. All of us different, all of us bearing one spark. We light these fires to see more clearly that the earth and all who live as part of it are not for burning. We light these fires to see more clearly the rainbow in our many colored faces. Blessed is the one within the many. Blessed are the many who make one. So may we be inspired by these words, be inspired by the numbers, be inspired by the voices that were leading us, all of us today in my town, maybe your town, throughout the country and throughout the world. So I'll be back with you with those photos, hopefully later today. Blessing and peace. Be well.